Sarah scrolled through her phone. Another boring Friday night. Rain lashed against the windows. She snuggled deeper into the armchair. A low battery warning flashed on her screen. Annoyed, Sarah searched for her charger. She finally found it tangled beneath the sofa. Plugging it in, she slumped back, resuming her aimless scrolling. The house creaked around her, an old familiar symphony. Outside, the wind howled like a banshee. Sarah barely noticed. She was engrossed in a video of a cat playing the piano. A floorboard groaned upstairs. Sarah looked up, a flicker of unease in her chest. Just the wind, she thought, trying to ignore it. But the hair on the back of her neck prickled with a sudden chill. The wind seemed to moan around the house, scratching at the windows like a desperate animal. Sarah pulled her feet onto the chair, hugging her knees. She wished she hadn't watched that horror film last night. A notification popped up on her phone screen. "Phone fully charged," it announced cheerfully. But Sarah hadn't been charging it for that long, had she? Sarah frowned, a knot of unease tightening in her stomach. She glanced at the wall socket. The charging symbol was gone. The phone wasn't plugged in. Her heart began to pound. She distinctly remembered plugging it in, the satisfying click of the connection. Then her blood ran cold. Her phone vibrated in her hand. An incoming call. The name flashing across the screen was her own, Sarah. A wave of dizziness washed over her. Who or what was calling her from her own number? Frozen in terror, Sarah stared at the vibrating phone. She couldn't bring herself to answer it, to hear her own voice speaking from the other end. The ringing stopped. Silence descended, heavier and more ominous than before. Then a whisper, barely audible, sent chills down her spine. "Look behind you," it breathed, the voice chillingly familiar. Sarah's breath hitched in her throat. Slowly, her heart pounding against her ribs, she turned her head, dreading what she might find lurking in the shadows of her once familiar room. Standing in the corner, shrouded in darkness, was a figure. Its eyes glinted in the darkness, reflecting the faint light from her phone screen. It smiled, a slow, chilling smile that spread across its face like a crack in an icy lake. Sarah screamed.